Hello, welcome to Preparing to Subscribe and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. Today will be our garden updates for June the 27th through July the 3rd. Also some bug identification, water glassing eggs, and many other homestead updates, including some video of the bees. Also, last but not least, is the winner of our doTERRA Essential Oils giveaway. So stay tuned, watch the video, and we will be going over this at the end of the video. Stay tuned. Good morning. It is June 27th, about 10:30 in the morning. It's been raining here, so I did not make it out yet. I've been doing other projects inside. Homestead, the work never seems to end. Vacation would be nice, but we are striving to survive, and we're going to make it. So I want to do an update, a weekly update on my garden and see how things are going. And if I see any pests or disease that I need to point out, I'll be doing that throughout the week also. So I'm going to switch you around and follow me. So let's start our tour out in our onion patch. We've been slowly picking some here and there and using them. So we've got them spaced out a little bit. I still have not put black plastic down on this area. It will happen this week. Now, these are the ones up front here that I used as from sets that I bought at the store. And the ones that are over here, I have been attempting to thin out. Not always doing the best, but these are the ones I have grown from seeds. They are doing amazing. Also, I never thought I could grow onions from seeds, but they're doing amazing this year, and I'm going to do it again next year and probably go strictly to seeds or onions from seeds. Our tomatoes, I have been slowly desuckering them, and as you notice, I have onions on this side of my cow panels and tomatoes on this side. They're doing amazing. I have not seen any predators or fungus or anything really too much on the tomatoes. Did see a little white fly, but that might have been eradicated by by the parts of the plants that I took off and then burnt. So our cabbages, the worms, and the flea beetles have been taking a toll on them. So I'm coming out pretty much daily, at least once, if not twice a day, picking off these little guys. He's not my friend. He's going to go in a bottle here shortly. Our butter crunch lettuce, it's doing amazing. However, it is going to start to bolt. Today and tomorrow are supposed to be in tops in the 70s, maybe 80 here in South Central PA. Like I said, it rained this morning. So we are blessed with some really good weather. This was my volunteer and lettuce plant. I left it grow. It's getting ready to go to seed. So you'll get to see how I'm going to manage keeping the seeds from this one from intermingling with my butter crunch seeds, and pray that I can separate them. Our strawberries, they're pretty much done for the season. We might get one or two here and there, and we'll take it. Tomatoes are doing amazing. Amazing. We are getting, these are our beefsteak. We're getting some little ones here. We've got bigger ones down at the end of the row. Our giant heart tomatoes did not make it. I'm not sure why, but they just kind of shriveled up and died. There was nothing on them. The leaves were rolling, so I took some suckers that I pulled off the tomato plants and just jammed them down in the ground to see if they're going to do anything. I'm still waiting. They might make it. They might not. Of course, cabbage and worms, but we are still getting a little bit shapes of the heads. So even though the worms are decimating my leaves, we might still get some good heads. our broccoli. I saw some the other night here that was actually starting to get little baby heads on them. When they get bigger, I'll show them to you. It's wet out here. A few more broccolis. And our okra, Star of David okra. It has been putting on flowers, some of the most beautiful flowers. Oh, here's one. I have never seen okra flowers before, but this one is just starting to open up. It is so pretty. Those could actually sub for wedding flowers. And on this side, we have some of our long banana peppers, and they are looking wonderful. Even some of our bell peppers have started coming up, and they're starting to hold their own. I'm getting flowers and some little nubs of peppers on them. Cucumbers, they are doing amazing. Here's this little baby. He's about 6 to 8 inches long. I need to get enough of them so I can do my first batch of pickles this year. As you can see, I have some weeds in there, and I'm trying to leave these weeds. It is the purple amaranth plants next to my peppers. As you can see, I have very few holes in my pepper leaves. I have a couple down here, but these, what we call weeds, are being eaten up by the bugs. And I'm going to keep them. I'm going to leave them. Here's some little nubs and flowers and stuff on the pepper plants. Our Jerusalem artichokes, cannot wait for them to bloom. I want to share them with you so bad. They're beautiful. Our potatoes, they're doing wonderful. They're going strong. Everything is starting to flower. As we know, once they start to flower, they'll start to die off. I see a little potato bug here, and he's going to get picked off. And since I don't have my jar anywhere around, I'm going to give you a good bird's eye view of this little buddy. This is larva stage, and he's not going to make it to the jar. Sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm really not sorry, but it is what it is. The tomatoes are got to be at least 3 feet high. Or not tomatoes, sorry. Well, the tomatoes are also at least 3 feet high, but the potatoes are at least 3 feet high. I'm praying for an amazing crop, but you don't know because you can't lift up the dirt to see what is producing underground. We're not guaranteed. Last year, this was an amazing spot. I got at least 2 bushels of potatoes off of this. And I only had 1 row, and I had other rows down where the orchard is now. My sweet potatoes, different varieties. They are starting to vine. And I'm going to try to start a sweet potato in a bucket. Mainly for the leaves. I'm not sure if it will have time to grow, but at least I can get it started to see if the method that I saw in another video will work. Here's our volunteer watermelons. Looking forward to them. And our corn. Now, the other day, I was in here with the weed eater, and I got a little too close, and it kind of took some of them out. But it happens. Seems like this end, where the well dirt, mud had really saturated the soil, is a little less growing than the corn in the back where the soil was very good. And we have our beans. They, woohoo, they have started growing like crazy. It's been, I can't remember, a week, 2 weeks maybe. So this down here in this section are the tender green beans. Now we've been getting enough rain that I really have not had to water these guys or any part of the garden except for the new seeds that I put in. Then I will go through and water them. And these up here are the seeds that I had saved from last year. They're still sprouting up. I am impressed with how well they're doing. And our corn, it's coming up really good. This will be our second set of corn to grow and harvest this year. It makes it a little bit easier because I don't have everything just coming down on me all at once, so I can freeze some corn, grill some corn, and freeze dry some corn at different stages. Both of these patches are Country Gentleman, a heirloom, and they get huge. We have some crookneck squash here. It's just a baby, but it's so cute. So I was coming out this morning between little rain showers, and I noticed that one of my plants was dying. And I think it was a zucchini. We're getting some crooknecks. And I had to dig it up. It died, and more than sure it was a vine borer. I have not found a plant to prevent vine borers. So I pulled it up, I dug around it, I made sure it was all good. I've got the hole exposed, and the plant literally went in the burn barrel and was torched immediately in case there was any larvae in there. Our zucchini over here is taking its time. It's not wanting to really give me much on food-wise, but it's looking good. And our plants, our pepper plants. Some of these are our long banana peppers. They're sweet, not hot. But down here in the front of this, we have jalapenos in here. We also have the cayenne and the habanero peppers. So we're getting some. They are going to be amazing. I cannot wait to try to freeze dry these. My daughter loves really spicy food. I'm not that much of a fan anymore. I used to be, but I've kind of mellowed out as I've gotten older. I will be needing to weed here pretty soon again. And weeding results in a salad with foraged food. Our cantaloupes, I am going to try a different variety next year. Hall's Best is not seeming to love this soil. I'm not really sure. Maybe I should just give up on growing cantaloupes. But I love them. I'm going to also try a little bit more fertilization. I'm going to do some investigation. But here we go again. These are doing great. I'm not sure. There's something going on in that area. But these are starting to grow, starting to branch out. And more of our watermelons. Now these are the ones that are not volunteers, ones that are planted were crimsons. They should be a nice round sweet watermelon. They're starting to go up the trellis. So I'm going to have to pull that one down because I want it to go across the black plastic and then up the trellis is what the goals are for all of my vining plants. We have our winter squash here. Some of them are doing well, some of them not so well. Acorn squash and the buttercup squash are doing very nicely. these guys are really bucking it out. You can see how long that vine is going. Kind of situating them so they'll go in between where my other butternut squash are. These are acorn and buttercup squash throughout here. There's also a spaghetti squash here and there, but they didn't look like they were making it. But the way the seeds have been this year, I could be planting a different type of squash and not even know it because the seeds I have received have been marked wrong. But I am very thankful for what I am getting. I'll take it. Now these are some of the butternut squash. As you can see, they get huge flowers and the fruit is starting, not very big. Now these are my seeds, thank God. Some of these seeds I did save, so we're doing great. If it wasn't so wet out here, we would have bees in these flowers just buzzing them away. Well, that one seemed to have gotten away from me. That just looks like it died. Doesn't look like it's been really infected. I don't know. Not really sure what's going on there. But I'll probably dig it up and burn it today, just to be on the safe side. Here's a little guy popping up. We'll see what he does. Next year, I'm going to try something different. Instead of starting my plants, my squash plants, cucumber plants from seed inside, I might just go ahead and bring them out and start them in the garden. Just start them in like mid-April. Throw a good bit of mulch down on them so it stay warm, and hopefully by the middle of May they'll be awesome. They'll be popping out, they'll be growing, they'll be producing, maybe not giving us food, but at least showing signs of it. And our sugar snap peas. They're doing amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I know I say that word a lot, but that kind of sums it up. Or I could do the 80s and say it's radical dude and awesome. I like to hear the birds when I walk out here and seeing the plants. Of course, everything needs weeded, but with the rain, it's amazing. Again, amazing. I've got to stop saying that word. We're waiting for some new seeds to come up. So we're going to go for a little walk here and see some volunteers that I've been actually keeping a secret from y'all. So we'll be back. Well, we are over here at our mush bins. We have sawdust and chicken manure and food scraps all in this one. And there is a white mulberry tree that is there. White mulberries apparently are supposed to have some amazing properties. If you go way back here in the back, you will see there are some potato volunteer plants. I've filled them in. I guess we're going to see if that produces anything. They could be the absolute best potatoes I've ever eaten. I have no idea what kind. I don't know if they're red or if they're white. Could be anything out here. Now, one thing that is really amazing, and here I go again saying amazing, is our squash plants. This is in complete shade most of the day. It gets a little bit of sun in the evening, but not a whole lot. But these volunteers are going strong. I was going to wait until I saw some flowers and growth on them, and we do have some flowers over there. We also have tomato plants in here. Not sure what kind, as always. Could be anything. Could end up being nothing. And with the lack of sun, I am really surprised that they're growing. This over here is mainly grass. I also see more potatoes coming up through. So let's take a walk down to our sunflower patch where I planted mystery winter squashes and melons. While we are walking, let's talk. So I watched a video from Deep South Homestead with Danny and Wanda. I love that one. They're very positive, they're uplifting, but they do tell you the truth. What I want to talk about is water. I just saw that they are having a kind of drought down there, and their soil was, pretty bad. So send out your great vibes and prayers and good thoughts for them to get some rain. So it was heartbreaking because Danny corn was dying and very sad. We've been getting a little bit of rain here off and on. We need about an inch of rain a week. And which brings me to our cistern video should be coming out this week. I'm hoping that the cistern will be done and we'll be able to get it full between the rain and what I can siphon from the other cistern so we can repair that one also. Well, the squirrels and the deer have not eaten all my sunflowers. They are coming up nicely. But so far, no mystery vegetables. So, got to look close. The deer have been, or the squirrels, somebody, rabbits, raccoons, groundhogs. Not sure what would eat the sunflowers, but something's eating them. My cats seem to be hiding today. I usually catch one or two of them on the film. I'm going to head up to the other sunflower patch, so come along. We're still down here in the lower sunflower patch, and I just spotted this little guy. Maybe some of you did before I did in the video. This is a yarrow plant. It's going to go to blooming here. There's a lot of different medical uses for it, but I have heard that it can be harmful to cats and dogs. I'm not planning on putting it on them or feeding it to them. I'm going to do more investigation on this to see exactly what medical properties I can use from it. Now we're heading off to the other sunflower patch. So as I'm walking, I'm going to do some plant identification. This one here is beautiful. Purple oilacea little flowers, yellow center. It's got some spines on it. I literally stopped to try to figure out what it was. It came up with Carolina horse nettle. Apparently this is part of the nightshade family, and I did recognize that first off. And most nightshade plants are poisonous, especially if they're growing in the wild. This one is poisonous. It has been known to kill cattle, horses, if it's ingested in high quantities. Even though I do not have those animals on this property, I will be pulling this up and removing it. I do not want it to seed. I don't want anything dangerous to animals or to humans on this property. If I find that this has a medical property that can be used, I will harvest it. I will make whatever concoction I need to, and I will mark it as poisonous and only used for these ailments. So we came up to our upper sunflower patch. Some of these plants are 2 feet high. Some of them have been eaten, the tops off by a deer, more than likely. There's also some little groundhogs running around. They're really cute, but they are detrimental. I planted some beans throughout here. It's only been a few days, not quite a week. So far I'm not seeing anything pop up, and that's okay. Probably next week I'll have it done, or maybe sooner, depending on how much rain we get. Now, the 2 sunflower patches, I am not watering. I am not doing much of anything to. I am just letting them do what they need to do. But so far, they've been doing really well. So this is our garden update starting the week of June the 27th. And we'll be back tomorrow to let you know what's going on. Good morning. It is Tuesday, June the 28th, 2022. The year's still the same. Yay! So we're a little over halfway through, and before you know it, Christmas will be here. So, what are you doing to prepare for Christmas? Actually, let's be serious. What are we doing to prepare for now? Do you have those gardens in? If you don't have a garden and you don't have room for a garden, are you getting container gardens going? Are you preparing a little bit of extra food? Picking things up? I know the price of food has increased substantially. I choke every time I go to buy a piece of meat and think, oh, wow. And I normally just put it down and go to my stores and go from there. My kitty cat is here. She keeps bumping my camera. And I'm having a cup of coffee sitting underneath the tree. Today on the homestead, other than pulling weeds, I am going to go out and check the bees. They look like they're doing amazing. My cats definitely are. They're fat and happy and catching mice and squirrels and rabbits. So there's been a lot of current events, a lot of things that could cause civil unrest around communities, states, and even amongst households. What we need to do is remember we have got to stick together. We have got to find a common ground. You've got to reach each other. Because you never know if tomorrow that person that you're fighting with today could go down the road and get killed in a car accident. I try to tell my children and my husband and the people I love every day or every time they get in the car that I love them. That to be careful. Take your get home bag. Make sure you have some water in your car. Little things like that. It may sound silly, but you don't know if one of these days we're actually going to need it. So, prepare. Don't be a Debbie Downer. I'm trying not to be. I am very thankful for what I have. I'm thankful for my family and my friends, and my garden is growing amazing. And today, like I said, I'll be out working with the bees, and maybe I'll get a little bit of honey this year. So let's take a little trip over to the bees. I'm not in my bee suit yet. If you've looked at some of my videos, you've seen them. I am going to just see how active they are. The more active they are, the more will be out of the hive, the less I'll have to deal with coming up and getting me. Now, I would love to videotape this and show everybody what I'm doing, but I have a severe reaction to bee stings. I am not allergic, according to the doctor, but I swell up absolutely horrible. I could set up pictures, but it would probably scare you, and you may never watch my videos again. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what's going on with the bees. So my first hive, as you can see, they are starting to come out in droves. It was a cool night. It was in the 50s. They're really moving along. It's bright sunshine. There's another one. I'm going to come out and I'm going to check to see if we need to put another honey frames on there. They're the smaller ones. Those are called, I think, mediums. This one already has it, and so does the first hive that I was showing you. I try to leave the natural area for the bees so they can get food, because when July comes, we will go into what is called probably a dearth. It is a lack of food for the bees. They will get crankier, they'll get more angry, so me and the neighbor, we are planting buckwheat, and hopefully the sunflowers will be up in August, and the fall, they'll go out of the dearth and we'll be able to have more crops. I've also got ragweed going and a lot of other different wild foods for them. The blue flower over there is chicory. The one with the purple flower is a common stinging... Nope, that's not right. It is a common Canadian thistle. The bees will love it. You can already see there's some bees getting on it if you would get closer. But I'll be out here checking these guys, hopefully putting some more mediums on there to get some honey. Callie, say hello. She's not talking. So maybe I'll see you soon. Talk to you again. So I'm going to try to take you a little bit on our bee journey, and what I have right now is a smoker. And I just put this little buddy in here. It's a fire starter. I got them from Tractor Supply. They have some wax on them, some hay. I start by lighting that up with a torch. A couple different places. So once I get the fire going on that, I start stuffing it with some old hay, straw, old grass, anything to make it smoke. As you can probably see, it's smoking good already. Now, a lot of people think you will want to leave it, compact it loose so the fire will start and keep on going. But what I have found is I start to compact it and I will use this bellow to make the smoke. If the fire goes out, I just pull it out and start over. So I've got it going pretty good now. I'm starting to even pack it tighter. Woo! It's getting in my eyes. Do a little bit of a bellow. I'll be back in a minute. I have to go pick up some more of this hay, straw, dried stuff. Well, I'm in my bee suit. I'm going to try to show you some of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm really only checking to make sure that they have room, so I'm not doing a deep dive on this. I only have one glove on so I can operate the camera. So I cannot really be pulling out frames because I don't want to get stung and I don't want to have a bad reaction and end up going to the hospital and having to get steroids. So I'm going to switch you around so you can see what we have going on. There's the bees. They're pretty mellow at this point. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see down into the frames and see where they're starting to make honey. Add honey to it and how pretty the wax is. Bees are starting to come up after me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put my bee suit back on the rest of the way and put it together. Here is the honey box. They are starting to add honey to this one also. And if you can really look down in there, I'm not sure if you can. But here's the beautiful, beautiful ladies. Well, I'm back out of the bees. Nothing needs to be added. The frames are all good. They are making honey and they are going up and up and up. I'm hoping you could actually see some of the stuff that I was doing. My smoker is still smoking. So let's discuss the bee suit here. This is not a full body length bee suit, but I do have my hat. I have another hat on it to keep the veil from hitting into my face. This has zippers all the way around it to keep the bees from getting out. It also has Velcro. It zips all the way down. Now, this bee suit's kind of big on me. I literally tie a rope around it to keep the coat tight around my waist so nothing can get up on there. And one extra added measure on the coat, I put a bungee down around my booty area.
back in 2019, I had a bee come up through my coat and sting me on the bridge of my nose. It was horrific. It was hurt. I was off work for probably 5 days. I literally got sent home because I looked horrible. And one other thing, because I always end up with bees going up my pants legs, I put on my boots and I put rubber bands down around my ankles. That keeps me pretty safe until I start taking off my glove to do a video. But I'm out of there now. I haven't gotten stung as of yet. I'm going to get out of this bee suit and I'm going to go to the kitchen. I think I need to water glass some eggs. See you in a few.
Well, I'm back in my kitchen and I am going to try some water glassing of eggs. I've inspected the eggs. I've ended up with about 5 out of 10 of the eggs that I want to water glass. So I'm going to use pickling lime, 1 ounce of pickling lime, and 5 quarts of water. So I'm going to first add 1 quart of water into the 3-gallon bucket. And then I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of pickling lime in it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the other 4 quarts. And I will dissolve it and start placing the eggs in there. So 3 tablespoons of pickling lime is the same as 1 ounce. So my understanding is you use a 5-to-1 recipe for this. So there's 1. Two. And 3. Going to give that a good stir. It's dissolving nicely. We're going to start adding the other 4 quarts. And this will be the 5th quart of water. And this is my first time water glassing, so come join the journey with me. And my understanding is the eggs must be put in the the water glassing solution within 24 hours after being taken from the nesting boxes. The eggs must be clean. They cannot be refrigerated, and you do not wash them. So that's why I inspected them. Now I'm just slowly going to put them in there. And I do not have chickens, unfortunately. Not at this moment, but I'm working towards getting some. But my neighbor brings me over dozens every day. And we've been talking about water glassing, him and I, and we've decided to go for it. And here I am. I've started off, I've got my 5 eggs, and I'm going to put the lid back on it and put it somewhere at room temperature, but out of the sun. And I will keep adding to this until I need to start using it. Or if I need an egg in the wintertime or I don't have any eggs here, I can pull one out. These can be used to be made when you have to separate eggs, like when you're making pudding. Or if I want a dippy egg, I can pull one of these out. Now, if I need something where I'm just going to use a scrambled egg, I'll probably go ahead and use some of my freeze-dried eggs, which they're really amazing how they taste. And they're a godsend because in the wintertime, the eggs are not producing very much, so I don't get very many eggs. So, on a new journey, starting something new, learning a new skill. Ones that didn't make the cut for the water glassing, I'm going to be putting these in the fridge for later use. I also want to give credit where credit is due. I watched a lot of videos on doing water glassing of eggs, but the best video I found was from Homestead Heart. She did an amazing job. They look good, even though they're a little dirty. They taste amazing. The yolks are It's fabulous!
Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 29th of June. We have one more day left of June. Sorry if the camera moves a little bit. I've been out pulling weeds, and I don't have my selfie stick, so I'm just kind of walking. I found something in the garden. I want to do a bug identification, so you know what this is in case you see it in your garden and you don't have time to look it up. Maybe your mind will click and you will think and go, hey, I saw this on Preparing to Survive and Strive Homesteading channel, and probably many other ones, because I'm sure we're all talking about this bug. So I'm going to flip the camera around. And here we go. So I saw the eggs first, and I was bad. I smushed it. But this is what the mama looks like. And let me find the eggs here. Here we go. She was sitting on the leaf and she laid some. You see how the pattern is? They are a copperish color, and I'm literally just going to, since these are only that many and the leaf is still small, I am going to just smash them. Now, ladybugs will eat these, but we get squash bugs so bad around here that I kind of help the ladybugs out. So they're all smashed. Now, I've found a few here and there. They don't seem to attack my butternut squash as bad as they do my yellow crookneck or my zucchinis. So these are the yellow crooknecks. So they're already starting. I'm trying to make sure I don't get them. Pick them, pick them, pick them. If I find any that's actually hatched, I will also bring you those pictures. But it's kind of messy. But they're dead. Be back in a little bit. Another bug identification. This little black one with white stripes on it, I'm hoping you can see it. It is a cucumber beetle, but it seems to like the purple amaranth more than it likes my squash plants. The squash plants are not getting eaten up hardly at all. And of course, it's Tuesday morning and I'm in the garden, and guess who's with me? Stash-a-Rooney. I call him my Looney Tooney kitty. So, having a weed, which technically is not a weed, can save your actual cultivated garden plants. Well, I'm back. I pulled some weeds, and I want to do a little segment here called Words of Wisdom from a Grandma. Yes, I am a grandma. I have 2 wonderful grandchildren. So take some advice from me. First thing is, listen to your elders. And I am going to take my own advice and listen to my next door neighbor. He gives me lots of advice. What he has told me to do is plant my zucchinis after the summer solstice, or around the 1st of July. Well, it's the 29th of June. I am going to plant these today. Now, the method that I'm going to use is the chopstick method. I'm going to plant my zucchinis over there where the sunflower patch is, where I had planted some beans. So I'm going to use the chopstick method. All I'm going to do is I'm going to poke some holes in the ground. I'm going to take my watering can, fill it up with water, and stick some seeds in it, and then slough the dirt back over it, and then rewater where I planted the seeds. I'm going to do 3 seeds to heal. So these were survival seeds from survival seed packets. I have planted these the last 2 or 3 years, and they have generated, including the ones I have in my bigger garden. So they are viable, even though they're from 2013. Now, on the advice of respect your elders and listen to them, also take note if somebody is younger than you and they are telling you the same thing that the elders are telling you, and it makes sense to you. You will know it in your heart if it's going to work for you. You just have to listen to your instincts and what your gut is telling you. So, Shout out to my friend that is younger than me by a good 10 years that has told me the same thing. So if she's watching, know I'm talking about you. So I'm going to take these over. I'm going to water them. And one other thing, stop worrying. Everybody's worrying nowadays. It's stressful. Being worried all the time is paralyzing. If you are paralyzed, you do not get anything done. You will sit, you will stare, you will worry. A little worry is good. Yes, it is. But if it's causing you to sit and do nothing, it's not going to help you. It's no good. So get up, get moving, get something done. Plant a seed. It's probably not too late to plant something anywhere in the world. It may be too early if you're in the Antarctica or the North Pole, but at least plant something inside. I'll see you in a little bit. I am going to go in, and once I get cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and make some rice pudding for a friend of mine that is not feeling very well. See you soon. I also want to introduce you to Buster. He was found along the street when I first bought this house, and he was about 4 ounces, and now he's about 24 pounds. Guess he's going to leave me. Nope, he's going to sleep on my car mat. And Buster's full name is Buster Bad Socks. Give me a meow. Good evening. So I'm out here in the evening picking worms and potato bugs and larvae and stuff like that off of my plants. I just came across this one. This one's actually pretty hard to get a hold of. But this is a Colorado potato bug. I'm going to pick him, hopefully. He just went in my jar. So what I have found, what's next to him is leaves. These are the eggs. They're not ladybug eggs as far as I know. I'm going to recheck just to make sure. Sorry about that going out of focus. And I'm going to check my potatoes really careful now. But we'll get these taken care of. So I just went through an identification app and looking them up on Google, and these apparently are the Colorado potato beetle eggs. So they're going to be ripped off the leaves and put in a water bottle to go back to nature. Good morning. It's Friday, July 1st, and I'm sitting out underneath my pear tree, and I'm being attacked by bugs, and one of my cats is here rubbing up against me. So what have I been doing today? I have been weeding, of course, putting down some more black fabric. But what I started to do today is out in the sunflower patches, the 2 of them, I threw out buckwheat seed and clover. Now, the reason I'm throwing out buckwheat and clover, they are both nitrogen fixers. They will both feed the bees also. And the clover will probably not really flower until next year. It's normally a biannual. But the buckwheat should be putting on flowers in about 4 to 6 weeks, I'm hoping. And that way the bees will have food to eat at the end of July, middle of August, before the sunflowers start to bloom. Plus, the neighbors are also throwing out buckwheat for me and the bees. You could also take buckwheat seed and grind it and make flour. I'm going to show you what the seeds look like, so I'm going to flop you around. Okay, these little black ones right here. This is the buckwheat seed. It's almost like a triangle shape. And these tiny, tiny little gray ones, they are clover. Now, the clover, I had the buckwheat from last year. The clover has doubled in price since last year. It was $260 some for a 50-pound bag. Last year it was 130 something. I choked. So, I'm gonna swap you around here again. Sorry for showing you pictures of cars. I know that are so exciting. For some people they are. But the clover was a shock. I bought some last year because I was throwing it out in the fields, and I'm trying to get some type of clover to bloom every year in order to feed the bees. So if I plant this year, I normally plant next year also. So I planted it last year and I do it this year. So I should have flowers of some type white, yellow, or red continuously for the bees to eat. And the buckwheat, some people say because I'm in the north that it will not come back every year, but I beg to differ, because last year I did not plant some in different places, or no, last year I did plant some. Did not plant any this spring, but I've got buckwheat coming up down in the orchard. So I'm going to take you to where I'm going to be doing some other work today and show you what I'm going to be doing. So hang with me. Well, what we're going to be doing today, and this is the last thing I'm doing outside today. It's getting very hot, very muggy. I watered my garden last night for about 14 hours, a slow drip, because some of the plants were looking like they were having heat stroke. So I literally even watered to this area right here. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be pulling up the mallow, or actually digging it up. I'm going to get clear down to where the roots are, probably with a trowel. And I'm going to use the flowers, the stems, the roots, and the leaves. I'm going to go through, pick out the best, and I will see you back in the kitchen to learn what I'm going to be doing with it. Well, I'm back in my kitchen, and I have a basket full of the mallow. I'm going to show it to you. This, I dug out of the ground. You can see the root. It's dirty. What I'm going to do with these for a little bit is just soak them in some cool water. I'll be going through and picking off the leaves that don't look so good. They're already starting to not look happy because I pulled them out of the dirt. So I'm going to go ahead and soak these and get them cut and put them on some freeze dryer sheets. So bear with me and stay with me. So the water is just cold. It's not completely on the cold side, and it's definitely not warm. So I could probably even put it a little warmer if I wanted to, but I think I prefer it cold right now. I also have a stainless steel grate underneath the plants, so the dirt will fall to the bottom of the sink, and I will collect that out. And it shouldn't get stuffed up in the drain. Plus, these will be on top of the dirt with a layer between them and the dirt, so they will get cleaner faster. So I'm going to turn off the water here, and I want to show you the roots. I have pretty much scrubbed them. The dirt was still wet, so it was easier to get them to come off. And I'll be pulling off the little flowers. And any leaves that look like this, like there's bugs on them or there's bumps, discoloration, they will be pulled and thrown in to go back out in the burn barrel. Now the really good leaves that look like this little guy right here, I'll be plucking them off, and they will go on the freeze dryer sheet. Now, this does take a little bit of time, but in the end, this will be making awesome tincture, and for teas, and to even stick in soups in the wintertime. Maybe a little bit crushed up in your salad, maybe a great smoothie. But I'll be back in a little bit. Lots of work to do. So we freeze dried some mallow. It's an herb, actually. It grows wild everywhere. We freeze dried the leaves, the little flowers, and what some people call buttons, but they're actually the seed pods. You can eat all this, put them in teas. We also did 2 trays of the stems and 1 tray of the roots, which I kind of messed them up whenever I removed them. But they pretty much look like just what they did whenever I stuck them in. They're nice, crisp. And I'm going to be freeze drying this throughout the probably spring and fall, more fall roots. And then in the wintertime, I'll be doing up some tinctures, salves, and some different types of teas and tell you what they are good for. But right now, I'm going to bag these things up, mark them, and save them for winter. Good morning. So it's Saturday, July the 2nd, and I'm out here working with tomato plants, and I totally forgot about a portion of the rows that I thought was just lettuce. There's cabbage out here that I have not been picking worms off of. I'm going to flip you around and let you have a look. I'm going to be describing some different things so you'll know what to look for when you're growing your garden and what to get rid of and what to keep. There I go. Okay, this is a row of cabbage. I totally forgot it. It's a late, it's an early cabbage, so it's really not doing that bad. I mean, when you actually look at the big picture, considering I have not pulled one worm or bug off of this thing until this morning when I found it again. So, but I'm out here working with the tomatoes. I'm having to really prune some of them back. We got rain in last night, and it just splattered and blew and knocked things down. So now I'm having to really trim the tomato plants. Main reason is this. This almost looks like between bug bites and also a possibility of rust. Rust is just something that really gets in there and it makes it look like your car is rusting out. So I am going through here. Of course, I'm pulling weeds. Tomatoes is pretty much a week late. Excuse the guy in the car. Apparently he had to get something blown out of his engine or whatever. But this is what we're working on today, is getting all the tomato plants cleaned up. What I have noticed is this seems to be more prevalent in the area of where the well mud and stuff came through that I'm planting in. But it could be a coincidence, I don't know. But I'm going to get these things cleaned up today, and maybe I'll be talking to you in a little bit. Well, I'm still in the tomato patch, obviously. Since I'm having to cut some of these guys back really far, and we're getting some nice Romano tomatoes on here, I am going to let some of the suckers grow. Some of them that are growing deep, further down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try to do a pretty landscaping item with this. So if you're in an HOA and they tell you you can't have a garden, make your garden into landscaping. So I started this one a little earlier, and this is Callie. Callie, say hello. Oh, she's saying hello to me. Sorry to interrupt, but my cats are very entertaining. But I let this one sucker out down here low. It's doing very well, but as it grows, you're going to end up with a very pretty tree type quality. Now you will have to put something to keep it standing up because it will lay down if you don't tie it up or put something around it. But if you want a garden bad enough, where there's a will, there's always a way. Well, I went to the cucumber patch and oh, what did I find? Looks like I'll be making pickles here soon. So stay tuned for that video. I have at least 10 pounds there. So we'll see how they taste. Well, I know how they taste. They're going to be amazing as always. See you soon.
Hello, and did you enjoy the video? Lots of updates, lots of good information. So if you liked what I just showed you and discussed with you, please like, share, and subscribe. So the giveaway, do you remember what I was giving away? Let's find out. The TerraShield. Now remember, these are doTERRA essential oils, and the TerraShield is for bugs to help them stop biting you. Our next one is the lavender. Great for relaxation, smells amazing. Also is great for sunburns and also to help to ease the itching of the bugs. Peppermint. This smells amazing. It will also help keep you cool. You can also rub this on your bug bite. This kind of takes the sting out of it a little bit also. And last but not least is our Correctex. This is for boo-boos. It's in case you scratch a bug bite open, or you scratch yourself, or you're walking through briars and you dig a nice big gash in your leg like I have. This will be awesome to put it on. It helps stop the pain, it makes it go away, and helps prevent scarring. At least it has with me, my opinion. So now the winner for our amazing doTERRA products is Jean Wigner. Jean, please email me your address. I'll put it in the description. And I will also contact you through the comment. Now, Jean, she made a comment on how we both separate the eggs the same way on a homemade pudding recipe. So take a look at that video, and I'll be talking with you soon, Jean. Don't forget, everybody, if you like what I am sharing with you, please like, subscribe, and share. There's no reason for me to keep doing this content if nobody's talking to me or nobody's enjoying the videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. I will be talking with you soon.